Hi team, check out my fancy new setup. I got a new boom microphone and I have my camera on a fancy new little tripod right here. Happy days. Thank you to the channel members. Couldn't do it without you, and I wanted to get this microphone set up because I am aware that the quality of the audio in previous videos at times sucked. I wanted to do a video today on this really interesting type of video and post that I see on social media sometimes, that is usually around the subject of a list of things that you can do other than drink alcohol. And often these lists contain things like, why not go for a walk? Or you could have a bubble bath. Or you could join a sports team. And as well-meaning as these posts and videos seem to be, I got bad news. They're actually the activity of the addictive voice itself. Very subtle, but it is. And I'll explain why. Here is the complete list of things that you can do other than drink alcohol. Number 1. Literally anything else on planet Earth. That's it. That's all of it. There is an infinite number of things that you can do other than drink alcohol. It's the addiction itself that is trying to paint out this idea that consuming alcohol is the only way to have fun. It's the only way to enjoy your life. It's the only way to make friends. It's the only way to take the edge off. You know, it's the only activity of any value or merit whatsoever, right? So this is a really common tactic of the addictive voice, the AV, when we're approaching recovery, we're about to become abstinent. It's one of the objections of the addictive voice. It's like, whoa. But what will I do other than drink? What is there to do other than that? And that's what gives rise to this, like, people making lists and things like that. It's a very attractive prospect to the addictive voice itself. So this is subtle, but this is why we have to be incredibly vigilant and laser focused when we are doing addictive voice recognition technique. We have to be able to flush it out of its incredibly subtle hiding places. It hides in those shadowy areas of the mind, and sometimes it's so subtle that it appears to be well-meaning recovery material. What will I do other? I mean, what can I possibly do other than consume alcohol? It's ridiculous. The more you look at it, the more ridiculous it really seems. I had this exact same thing as well when I was going through recovery and when I was becoming securely and permanently abstinent from alcohol, which I did, by the way, through the book Rational Recovery by Jack Trimpey. I highly recommend you check it out if you are seeking to be free from your addiction forever. I went through this and I went through that. Like, oh, yeah, but what will I do other? And it wasn't long, probably about a month into my sobriety, my abstinence, that I was like, oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. I've been fooled. I've been duped. Because actually I realized the world is your oyster. You rediscover long-lost passions. You rediscover interests and hobbies. You regain your sense of joy in life, your sense of love in life, your sense of vitality, your energy. Just the whole world just opens up for you, and you realize, oh, it's the addiction that paints out that sobriety and abstinence from alcohol, an alcohol-free life, will be like gloomy and boring, and you're going to have to give up your days of partying and all of that. So it goes to show you just how cloudy, just how foggy addictive thinking is. People who are still currently in the grips of alcoholism. it's a very deluded way of looking at the world. Because whilst you're in active addiction, yes, the only thing that is giving you joy, the only thing that is giving you pleasure is continued use of the substance. Do you see how that works? So whilst you're in that mindset, whilst you're in that behavior pattern, that it's true that it's the only thing that's giving you any happiness. Because when it's not in your system, it's not in your bloodstream, you're miserable and depressed, but that's the addiction itself. So it's trying to paint out this picture that if we were without it forever, life's going to be just like that forever, gloomy and boring and depressing, uncomfortable. It's not true. It's not true. The world opens up. The world is your oyster. It's incredible. It's amazing just how much you rediscover when you're on your natural brain chemistry. When the brain chemistry resets its balance, it doesn't take long. That's the other thing that is absolutely staggering. Just how quickly it happens too. Honestly, it was within about a month that I realized, I was like, oh my word, I had forgotten what it feels like to be free, to be happy and healthy. I'd completely forgotten. And suddenly all of these possibilities started to arise. This adventurous spirit that can begin to rise up again in your body, because all of those activities, all of those things that were blocked off from you previously due to your addiction now have suddenly opened up. So this idea of having a list of things that you can do instead, it's very subtle, but it is addictive voice activity. How interesting is that? Go for a walk. Have a bubble bath. Really? Try anything, literally anything else on planet Earth. And doing things, this is subtle. This is real subtle, but we've got to get vigilant. It's not that your sobriety is dependent upon you having fun in other activities. That the sobriety is separate. You just make the decision. I will never drink again. I will never change my mind. It doesn't actually matter if you go through a period of being bored, of not really having much to do. You go through a period of loneliness or isolation. You go through a difficult time in your life. You're struggling to find interests and hobbies. That is a completely separate issue. That's completely separate. The sobriety is just the decision, I will never drink again and I will never change my mind. It's not dependent upon a set of circumstances. You don't need to be happy in order to maintain your sobriety. It doesn't work like that. You maintain your sobriety by not drinking. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It doesn't really matter what else is going on, what the circumstances are, what your situation in life is. It doesn't actually matter. I know that's going to sound kind of paradoxical or counterintuitive, but that's where our freedom lies. That's where the freedom lies, in abstinence. The abstinence is the firm commitment. I will never drink again. I will never change my mind. That is the firm commitment to abstinence from this substance. It doesn't matter what the circumstance or situation is around you. It doesn't matter what your daily activities are. It just doesn't matter. You don't need a list of things to do other than drink. Forget the drink completely. That's done. That's we've ticked that off. We've squared that away. That's not happening anymore. So if we set up this idea of like, what can I do instead of doing that, you're still leaving the door open to the possibility you might return to it one day if you don't find suitable activities to do instead of doing that. That you see the subtlety of the connection there? We have to sever that connection. We have to shut that door once and for all. It's done. It's over. It's over. Move on. It's time to move on. Just go out there and live life on life's terms. Natural chemistry, that's the guide. That will be your guide. Gravitate towards those natural inclinations and passions that you have, but it's got nothing to do with abstinence. Abstinence has everything to do with abstinence. That's that. Done. That's separate. You will rediscover this joie de vivre, a beautiful French phrase for the joy of living. Joie de vivre. You will rediscover this, and it will become so clear as you reconnect with, you reignite these old passions, these old hobbies, and just find and discover new ones that will continually surprise you week in, week out. You'll be like, oh, wow. For me, it was like the gym. I thought previously, I was like, there's no way I'm a gym guy. I can't be a gym dude. And it was like, it wasn't long. I was like, I love this. I love this stuff. This is great. And Dungeons and Dragons. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how did I forget this? How did I forget how much I love this? How did I forget how much I love creativity? How did I forget that? Well, we know how, don't we? We know what happened. It's time to leave that behind now and move on. So what is the complete list of things that you can do instead of drink? Literally anything else. That's it. That under that, when the title says list of things you can do, the list of things to try other than drink alcohol, number 1 should just be the infinity symbol. Beautiful. I hope some of that's helpful. I don't mean to pick on people who are making videos and posts like that. It's kind of well-meaning, but we have to flush out the subtlety. Thanks for listening, team. Take care. Be well. And stay present.